Welcome back into the studio and my take on the A to Z collaboration and challenge hosted by Tina Walker, the collaboration columnist over at StencilGirl Stencils. I chose to focus on the A to Z exploration and textures. Throughout this journal, my focus, of course, was on the texture, but specifically I handled textures a few ways. You will see both actual and implied texture, and both textures that have been embedded and or used on the surface. So I'm going to start off at the beginning with the letter A and some super heavy white gesso and a palette knife. As always with my videos, you will find a listing of all the supplies I used for this 2-page spread down below in the description box, along with additional links, specifically the link directly to the StencilGirl Stencil Collaboration blog post. So I chose to use throughout this journal pages that were started off with 140-pound watercolor paper. I did purchase these large sheets from Blick, and I did rip those down to the size I needed. This afforded me to have a substrate that was sturdy enough to handle whatever I threw at it. So as you see here, I am placing down my super heavy white gesso and just kind of leaving it with some bulk in specific areas to get additional texture off of my page surface. So you may be wondering what I'm going in for my first A texture, and that would be Acrylic Boogers from Paint Tubes. I actually played with these last year with my 100-day project, so I'm pretty familiar with different methods of using them. And I'm just going to lay these down with some E6000 glue, slightly embedded in that heavy white gesso that I had already laid down. Now once I've got those initially covered with some gesso, I am taking a library pocket from one of my decoupage library packs and getting that covered with gesso as well. So now you're going to see that I am going to place and adhere my library card to the surface of this page because I want to integrate it into the design that's going to happen. So that's what I'm going to do here using my matte medium gel. I'm going to adhere the pocket to the left-hand page. And now I'm going to do a bit of glazing, so I'm going to actually take my Studio 71 paints and mix a color that I like. And I will always have that listed below in the description box. And when you're glazing, you're going to use a glazing medium, and basically you can use glaze in many different ways, but the way I'm going to use it here is I'm going to apply it to the surface to accentuate the texture, and that's one of my favorite ways to use it. So when you do that, you're going to apply it to the surface, and you're going to let it sit there. Here in Arizona, I don't let it sit very long because it will dry faster. So you want to pull it off before it really dries. So you're going to use lots of baby wipes to do that, and that's what I'm getting ready to do here.
There are a lot of voices drowning in the sea. There's too many voices talking back at me. There are a lot of choices waiting to be made. Too many choices making me afraid. Dreams are not the same for me.
And here you're going to see one of my favorite textures, which is when you put gesso onto a highly absorbent paper such as watercolor paper, and the paper itself soaks up the pigment from the paint or the spray, and you're left with this beautiful texture that you see here. And that's one of my favorites. So I'm just wiping that back to where I want it.
While you're on the open sea, cannot take this anymore. A certain shade of blue will always remind me of you. Trying to figure out how I'm supposed to get through. The dreams are not the same for me. Standing by the shore while you're the open sea, cannot take this anymore. The dreams are not the same for me. Standing by the shore while you're the open sea, cannot take this anymore. Cannot take this anymore. Cannot take this anymore. There's a lot of colors, I don't know where to go. See a lot of colors, only feeling blue.
Now you're going to see me apply our next texture, which is our apple seeds. And this one I'm going to apply topically to the surface of my substrate as opposed to embedding them like I did the acrylic boogers. That's really hard to say, acrylic boogers. Anyways, so I add these as an element on the surface of the page. Now these are dried apple seeds, so I didn't want to have any issues with them mildewing in my pages. You got to think about these kinds of things when you use unusual textures, that is.
There's too many voices talking back at me. There are a lot of choices standing by the shore while you're on the open sea. Cannot take this anymore. The dreams are not the same for me. Standing by the shore while you're on the open sea. Cannot take this anymore. A certain shade of blue will always remind me of you. Trying to figure out how I'm supposed to get through. The dreams are not the same for me. Standing by the shore while you're on the open sea. Cannot take this anymore. The dreams are not the same for me. Standing by the shore while you're on the open sea. Cannot take this anymore.
I hope you have enjoyed this first video of the A to Z exploration of textures. It has taken what seems to have been a very long time to get to the actual reveal part of this collaboration. Not only did I get a chance to dive deep into one of my favorite things about art, texture, but I also had the opportunity to dive into the sundry of StencilGirl stencils which I own and are fabulous. I encourage you to check out the variety of ways A to Z has been explored, and down in the description box you will see not only for the links for all the products I've used, but also the StencilGirl blog post by Tina Walker, where you can see the other works done to the collab theme of A to Z. I will be posting my 26 plus videos over the next couple of months, so make sure you click on the subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you want to get notifications of the new videos coming up, please click on the bell. And if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. This lets me know that you're enjoying the content that I'm providing, but it also lets YouTube know that I'm an important contributor here on YouTube. Thank you so much for coming along and spending some time with me in my studio. And if you have any questions or comments, or just want to say hi, go ahead and leave that in the comments, because I respond to them all and would be happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you once again for joining me here. I appreciate you.